Good morning. This is Jim Dedman, Sawlogs Plastic Hubs. I always sometimes say machining in the backyard. You can see it's my shop outside here today. And today we have a video for you, something I'm doing. I hope you enjoy it. Pull you up your virtual chair, have a seat, sit down, enjoy the show. Good day, this is Jim. And this is another one of these upgrade projects I've been wanting to do for a while, and I thought I'd bring you along. It's a little background. I've done video here recently on one my other grinder, and if you watch my slop series, you'll see that I've lost one of my grinders. And I had two grinders, or I had three grinders inside the shop, so now I'm down to two. But there's just some things that I wanted to do, make some upgrades to the ones I had. Video about putting lipstick on the pig is before this one is actually my other grinder. It's the one that I'd purchased myself. Now we're going to show you what we've done today, and I'll bring you along and move the camera down, so just be patient. This is a little Craftsman 6-inch bench grinder that was here in the shop. It was Chris's late husband's, one of the few tools that Chris did not sell off. After her husband died, he was a mechanic, and he is an aircraft mechanic was his real job, but he is also a hobbyist mechanic, and really, and actually as good as a professional mechanic, from what I hear. He was certified, and all that good stuff. So, for some reason, when Chris was getting rid of his stuff, because she didn't need it, she kept a couple things in this building, and one of them was a drill press that I use, and this was this Craftsman grinder. And this is a real good little old bench grinder. Good 6-inch Craftsman. I use it when I just need to grab something to grind. I really don't grind tools on it, never have since I've been here. But like most of these grinders, all these adjustment screws down here use bolts. So what I did today is finished up on it, is I basically modified this grinder, excuse me, the camera bump, and installed all these adjustments so that you can just take a thumb screw and tighten it up and adjust it. And it's pretty fairly simple machining. It's something that if you've got a bench grinder in your shop, if you have a shop that is and got the lathes and stuff, it's a fairly simple little job to do, and it just makes your life easier. And as I said when I finished the work up with this, it's also a safety issue. Most people, myself included, will come up to one of these grinders and just use them. If these guards are too far apart or whatever, you're going to have to go hunt a wrench, and 9 times out of 10 you ain't got it in your pocket, and you just want to grind something. This way you can make a quick adjustment right there on the grinder, and it's something that will work right out for you. So with no further ado, we're going to get into upgrades, I think that'd be upgrades to the Craftsman bench grinder. And I'm not going to make new stands or anything like that for this one. This is sufficient. I'm not going to do tool grinding. I'm going to try to use my Cummins for that, where I put the other stands on. So I hope you enjoy today's video. So no further ado, hey, let's get to cutting metal. Okay, today we're going to work on the little Craftsman grinder. And what we're doing is we're actually in a process already. I'm going to make adjusters here that goes in here that doesn't use any wrenches. We'll probably make some aluminum handles for this eventually. This handle's already been made. This was one I actually, before I had this other idea in a video, you'll see repurposing doing some work on the Cummins. This is my other bench grinder, so it's a little Craftsman. It was here in the shop before I came along, and I use it. This is the one that's like my go-to quick, throw something on, knock a burr off grinder. I'm not planning on using it for no tool work, so there we go. Hey, there's several parts being made, and yesterday off camera I just went out to my scrap bin and grabbed a piece of steel and already turned it. This diameter is turned to fit this slot right here. So I just set a stop. I can get my calipers in a minute, and we're going to measure, and we're going to turn this down to 3/8 size, so we'll put the threads on it. So this has got to go to 375 here. Down to what we need, and take us a little cut and measure. We're going to thread these with the die, by the way, but we need these to be 375 or a little under. So there's just not a lot of difference in this. That's why I'm doing it this way. That's about 5 under right there. Okay, with this one I can get by using the cutoff tool because it's up against a chuck. The first one was out, and anytime you get, one thing about cutting off is rigidity is king, and in this is the case. I've got her slowed down and I'm just easing in there by hand, and it's doing a good job. The other one I had to cut off with the saw. It's just out here, and anything thin like this, when it's out, a lot of times will flex up and down, and that's just the way it is. And so but trying, again, it just makes life easier to make a couple at a time. So I'd rather sacrifice having to saw one off, and that way I won't have to saw two off. So, and damaging something. Sometimes machining is a lot of times is something you have to do by feeling. Is as much, especially manual, anything like this, it's a lot of a feel thing, even at home. And I can shorten the blades up and all. I kind of try to put the blade in a place that does most everything I want to do. And in this case, I'm running really slow, and I might could have got by out there by running really slow, but this did not feel right. So, as I said earlier, I prefer not to take chances. This is doing good. It's going to pop off here in just a second. And you can see how much closer to the chuck I am with this second one. So, that goes to show you rigidity is king. So I got to find it. It's down here somewhere. So there we go. Now I just got to face things off. Mr. Bozo struck. Big time. For some crazy reason in my head, I thought that was 3/8. I go over to fit this stuff up, come to discover it ain't 3/8, it's 5/16. So what we've done is we grabbed up, just took the piece, stuck it in there, turned it to 5/16 and re-thread it. Ain't that a gasser? And I'm trying not to make new ones completely, which is the best thing to do, but it's going to be tough. And turning it down is just getting it not to twist in the fixture is going to be the fun piece here. So, because you put a lot of pressure on dies and things won't slip. So I got her in low gear. She's wanting to still give us a hair bit, and instead of just holding, letting the die do its work. All right, we'll back this die out, flip it around. Mr. Bozo's at bay. So this ain't no dang fun when Mr. Bozo shows up. That's my fault for not checking. I just assumed, and sometimes you get yourself in some, it's not a biggie, I can get out of it, but it just makes it more aggravating to do what I wanted to do. So hopefully this let me push up to the ridge, and then I'll just have to do my other one. So it's a good thing I just didn't move on to something else right quick here. All right, I'm as up as I'm going to get up. Okay. Now let me go see if that'll fit. Okay, this is handheld. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, but you see there's just one stud and there's the other stud. And what those studs are fair for is because you used to use bolts. Let me see if I can get you a better view there. Right there's what I really got a better view there. Let me just start over. Folks, you see there's the one side, and it's got a little more light so you can see it. And that's what the studding is for, right there. It's just a guide. And then your front screw will be the one that tightens and holds it. Okay, now you see the stud installed. Now, what we're doing is basically the mount, I'm handheld. The mount will mount on that stud on these two fixtures and slide. And I'll get a mount here in a second to show you. You see how I've got the mount sitting there, and it's all mounted up. And now all we got to do is make thumb screws. Remember from yesterday, the other day when I was doing the putting the lipstick on the pig, this is the same piece of aluminum I knurled, and I knurled it a little long, but I didn't really think, truth about it is, I didn't realize I was going to be using it again. But I always like to knurl my stuff a little longer because it gives me an advantage. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this thing out. We're going to make a little different screw, but basically the same thing I done the other day is just kind of thread, let's thread this for standard. Then we're going to turn the screw down like we did the other day. So just to give us some, something to work with. Again, this is a, 3/8 coarse thread screw to match the threaded rod. And I think I might be deep enough. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to do a little different because I don't want to use any more. So I'm going to make this a little different and kind of do a little bit different. And I'm not going to bore you. I'll bring you back when I get the first one cut off and show it to you because you didn't see me do this. All right, here we go. We're going to cut this fool here off. I've done got it deburred with the file and ready to rock and roll here. What we're making this too is that this diameter at the back of this screw is going to be the face width of the slot. It's about 200 thousandths. Just because I thought that'd be a good number. And we're just, like I say, I'm running about 200 RPM. Aluminum, like I say, I know that you can use other stuff, but I'm going to tell you, aluminum galls. And I'm running about 200 RPM power feeding it. And I'll just soon put my cutting oil on it, just roll it right down through there, give it some lubrication. And I've said this a lot in my videos because you get a lot, that's why you don't get no galding down into the part. I've got some WD-40 like aluminum. Actually, I use lamp oil or something like that a lot. But my cutting off, I prefer cutting off and knurling. I prefer to go ahead and just use regular cutting oil, just because a little thicker and gives us a little bit more to work with. And so we'll need to drill and tap that out again to make the second one. Of course, you know I'm going to face this off and make it look a little prettier. But that's basically my screw right there. What I've done so I can get this done is I got me a couple of nuts. And I'm going to... And I sawed the excess off. And we're just going to clean this up with a little bit of a light pass. Got a nut in behind it to hold it in place so it won't screw the Loctite out. And we're just going to take a little light stem cut just to face it off even there with the nut and be done with it. Just like that. We're actually grabbing on the wing nut on the biggest piece in the back, and then we're going to take the threads out. So we'll take the bolt loose when we get done. That's when we can get this thing put together. Easiest way in the world to make thumb screws, by the way. I do this quite often. Now see, I got a little bit of a flat spot there, but it's not scarred, so I'm not going to worry about it. And again, this is not like you got to have exactly true runouts. So see, I've got that nut there in the back, so I'm going to take this nut out and put one of them together. Okay, here's the finished product. I don't think I've got these stands quite where I want them yet. I'll have to look at them. And so to get them everything to kind of the way I want them, that's this sort of eyeball. Of course, you know all this is castings anyway. It's probably made overseas, but there is finished product. Now you see that those studs hold it. Now I got nice big aluminum thumb screws back here, and I got these here. Now these are threaded into that. So with that being said, see, we have a complete setup. See, everything runs good. Even this grinder has a little bit of a vibration to it. So, but now, one of my pet peeves of tools like this is when you get up here and you're going, and a lot of people are bad for this, and the reason I'm doing this is because of it. You know, you want your rest adjusted really close to your grinder. And what happens on most of our grinders, you have little old bitty, have to go hunt a wrench. So 90% of the time we just grind on these things and not do nothing. So this also makes this a lot safer, because if you need to adjust it, right here's your adjustments. Of course, the people that make these grinders, they make them cheap as possible, and in defense with them, even the good ones. And this is just something that take more machining, which obviously would increase the cost. A lot easier to buy a bolt. So I got the idea of wanting to do this from when I was doing my Cummins the other day. And again, I will say that it's a worthwhile little project, you know, to do for yourself. And I think that it's a nice little shop addition to your shop. This is Jim. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is a copyright production of James Dedman, Sawlogs Plastic Hubs, for your enjoyment on YouTube. Now, I would appreciate if you would click that subscribe button if you hadn't already. It doesn't cost anything. There's no financial responsibility on your part. The other thing is, if you have friends that would enjoy these videos, hey, tell them about us. Tell them about the crazy old man out in the backyard in the shop. and tell him how much fun we have watching these videos. I sure would appreciate it. Till the next time, I will see you on our next video. Enjoy.